or basically a kind of single shot rival blaster comparison. Very interesting stuff here because this is a video I've wanted to do for a while, but before I do my official video, I need to get a few more blasters that I don't own yet. But I thought, why not do a little live comparing all of the major types of blasters. So here's what we got today, and we'll compare all of these. Excuse me. Okay, obviously, I just showed the Knockout. We have the Fate. Like I said, we have the Knockout, the Rival Fate. We have the Pilot, which is weird because two of these are in the same series. And then those are the Nerf ones I have on here. And then we also have the Ranger, the Dart Zone Ranger, which I'll say why I really like this blaster later. And then we'll go into other types of rival single shots that aren't from the rival line. And I'm talking specifically about Nerf Mega and how that can be translated into a rival single shot blaster. And we'll get into that at the end of the comparison. So this is going to be awesome. Let's get started with the first blaster, and that will be the Knockout. Now, I got a little bit of heat a while back because I put the Knockout in my most overrated blasters list, and there was a reason for it. I have good reason. Also, anyone watching, let me know how the stream's going, but the reason I do not like this blaster in particular, now when it first came out, this was kind of revolutionary, it's a new thing, single shot rival, so it got a lot of passage, but nowadays with a lot of the other stuff, I think this is outdated, and also, it's not very great. Now, it's great for modding, that's what it's great for, that's where it excels. You can get hoppers, you can get all kinds of stuff, but as a blaster itself, without the modding potential, which a lot of these other blasters also have, keep in mind, but without the modding potential, this blaster is pretty meh. You have a grip which is a little too chonky. Like, you could have a big grip like this and have it be chonky but still comfortable. This feels like it's way too big and the proportions are off for my hands. They could be a lot better as a grip. It's a little too thick and chonky, and even unnecessarily so. I mean, you do have to have a big spring in there, but I feel like you can have a slightly smaller grip. And there's even other blasters on this list that have the same kind of style of prime, but with a lot better grip. And this grip's a little too chonky, in my opinion. Even though I have big hands, I mean, it's not a bad grip, but it is a little bit weird and doesn't feel quite right. Also, I think the biggest problem with this blaster is the priming, and it's not a simple priming as you would think. I mean, it has dart storage, which is probably the coolest part about it, I think. But you flip this here, and you throw in your rival round. But then you have to close it. Okay, that's pretty simple. Pull it down. Why can't I fire this? Because you have to push this back up. So you have a literal process for shooting one rival round. Now, it shoots it pretty well, but I've noticed from reviews it's not as powerful as some other rival blasters, which is kind of weird. But basically, let me walk you through again. You have to do all of that to load and fire one round, which is the biggest problem with this. Now, again, this has probably the most mod potential out of all of these. However, there is one I think that does outclass it in mod potential, but it has a lot of mod potential, and that's the biggest thing about it. You can't really change the grip, and that's my biggest gripe. The grip is my biggest gripe with this blaster. Also, in my opinion, it doesn't look the best. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I don't like the looks. And also, this pull here, this is a really weird thing. It's not very like well designed. I think it should be like a standard T-pull, which other blasters do end up having, and it's only good for like mods, which is you can do spring mods, you can do brass mods, you can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can have you can even get a hopper on this, which is kind of cool, but again, you have that whole process that makes it kind of hard to use the hopper, so it's kind of weird that way. But again, lots of mod potential, and that's where this blaster excels. Next, we have what came next on the list, and it is the rival Fate. Now, the Fate is a really good blaster. First off, it almost has equal amount of mod potential to Knockout. You do have a top breach here, which means I'm sure you could do a hopper setup here. Now, I don't know if it's done yet, but you certainly could because it's a top breach. And the cool thing about this, though, is, first off, the grip is way better. And this is also a direct prime, which it's not a prime for the grip. It is a direct prime, which is usually better for spring upgrades and stuff like that. So if you want to get more of a pop out of your blaster, the Fate is a lot better for that. But the biggest part that excels about this is a grip that's almost like a pistol grip. It's like really nice, and it's perfectly angled while being really balanced. It's one of the best grips I think I've ever gotten my hands on, and I really wish Rival would do more of them. It's a pretty compact blaster, not much bigger than the Knockout. It's more longer, if that makes sense. And this one is a lot easier to operate because there's a lot less steps. First off, you don't have to flip a switch to open the barrel. You just pull it back, and the barrel's open. Then you close it, and you do have to push it forward, but dun dun dun, you don't have to push the back priming handle back. Yes, it's a lot cleaner design. That's another thing. It looks better, and it's like a more sleeker design. This is a very kind of chunky and kind of odd blaster because it has a lot of just like, it feels like it's a lot of stuff on it. This though is way more well designed. And there's a lot less steps, and it is a lot better with the performance. Not a lot. It's about I think it's a little 10 FPS more from what I understand, but it has a lot more mod potential performance-wise. Now, if you wanted to add stuff to it, this is still better, even though I don't want to say it. That is true, but that's just because there hasn't been more stuff for the Fate yet that has been made. And I could easily see this with the hopper. It would be really nice. But yeah, the Fate is one of my favorites, and if not my most favorite, because it has such a great grip. But that brings us to the next blaster, and that is the Nerf Rival Pilot from the Accu series. Now, this is a really cool blaster. First off, the grip is 10 times better than the Knockout grip, and it's a lot sleeker. It's not as good as this grip, but it's still a lot more sleeker and smaller while still being a T-Pull Prime, and it has about the same mod potential as the Knockout, except for one fact is you can't do the hopper extension on it, but this blaster still has like an infinite amount of mods you can do to it. There's barrels you can get for this, like 3D printed barrels, shoot almost any ammo. It's really cheap too, and it has, my favorite part, a T-Pull Prime, despite whatever they did here. And it makes it a lot cleaner of a, operating system. Hold on. And only a few complaints with this blaster. Oh yeah, thanks for the compliment. I love this Nerf wall here. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, it's really good. The Mega Shot. I don't know. Are you talking about that or that? There's a lot of blasters I have back there. It would take me forever to go through all of this though. So basically, here's the thing about the Pilot, though, is that it has less steps than even the Fate. Actually, well, it's about the same. Hey, how's it going? Oh, top one. Oh, that or that? I don't know. That is a Modulus ECS 10. That's like a special edition that I found. And then that is a TS that is painted. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. This has a lot less steps too. It's about the same as the Fate, I believe. You just pull it down, it automatically opens the breech, which is kind of nice. Oh yeah, I have a Saturn. The Saturn is great. Then you load from the back. Now I believe you can load from the front too, so it's not too big of a deal. You can also shotgun this thing, which is my favorite part. But one complaint is you can't flip this up, which means you have to push it closed, which I don't like as much. So they're about the same as far as steps it takes to load, but the Knockout has more mod potential than the Fate. Now this will get you more performance, but this will give you mod potential. And crap, shot something. And yes, I have a Kronos. I have a lot of Rival blasters, not every single one, but I have a lot. And then you fire. It's really nice for just like, it's like just really good for that kind of thing. And also, it does feel a lot more fun to use this than some other blasters, and it has mod potential. But those are the options. Now here, I can show you the Saturn, sure. Where the heck is it? Boom. This is the Saturn. Very comfy blaster and very practical. One of my favorite Nerf Rival blasters. And I love that it has slam fire too. I do not like the stock though. It's a little bit short, but it could be better. This is not a slab. No, you can't get lever action kit. That's not a slab either. That's a Sentinel from Busby. Oh yeah, people do HVZs. In fact, there's one happening, I think, in Colorado in a couple months. But okay, now here is the thing about these rival blasters. I think there's one better, and it's not even a single shot one. It is a 3-shot one. I think this blaster is better than all of them. Now, here's a few things this doesn't have though. Mod potential is there. You can upgrade the performance. But, oh yeah, by the way, this is painted. This is not the original color. It's blue. It's from Dart Zone. But it's a lot smaller than some of these options. And it's also a better grip than a lot. It's not as good as the Fate, but they got to put out the Atlas. Yeah, there needs to be an official rival shotgun. And that is where this comes in. That's actually perfect because out of the package, this blaster is a shotgun. And, oh yeah, I have a Helios. Those things are great. I kind of like the Apollo a bit more just because of personal taste. But the thing about this blaster, though, is you can load multiple shotgun rounds. Do I prefer Rival over Darts? I actually prefer Darts, but Rival is almost as good. And now you have a shotgun, and this is no modification out of the package. You already have a very versatile and high-capacity blaster. Now, this takes one-shots as well, and it's only $10. And it has mod potential to upgrade the performance. You can also get multiple barrels for this. Barrels that shoot short darts. You can do 3 inline clip barrels, which means you can hold up to 15 darts. Yeah, it's insane. You can also mod this to shoot Mega. I don't think you can do Mega XL, but it has so much potential to do that kind of stuff. And ooh, the takedown. Yeah, and I actually don't have one in the room right now, which I do have one, but it's not in my studio right now. However, the thing about this blaster, for $10, it has a very comfy grip. You have a shotgun out of the package, loads of mod potential, and it's compact. This is, in my opinion, next to the Solo, this is the best pocket blaster. Because yes, this thing can fit in your pocket. It's a little bit big for a pocket, but it will fit, and it's really nice. Now, the reason I like this more than the others is mainly the capacity while being yet smaller, which is a big deal. Now, if I wanted to mod something, I would go with either, you know, the Nerf options. But if I were to use it just for rival purposes, there's no way I'm picking those over this. A very practical and compact little blaster. Well, thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And you know what? Hold on. No, man, I don't have it in here. Wait a minute. I got something for you, though. Now, this is not a takedown, but it's close enough. My takedown, I would have to go out in the garage to get it. But this is a, well, thank you for subbing as well. Thanks for all the subscribers. I appreciate it. Yeah, and this is basically the, like, okay, so it's basically the takedown. It came out before the takedown, but it's a back priming blaster, which is really cool. And this one, I kind of like the looks better than a takedown, but I would prefer a takedown any day. However, this is a definitely good one for dual wielding. Why is there not a blue rival takedown? Good question. I would love to know as well. Another question I have is why is there not a blue, well, I don't have one in the studio, but why is there not a blue rival charger, or why is there not a blue version of the roundhouse? Oh, wait, no, there is a blue. I mean, why is there not a red charger? Sorry. There's a blue charger, but yeah, it's kind of a weird thing they did. But yeah, this is the closest thing I have in the studio of a takedown. But yeah, so those are the rival options. Personally, this is my favorite if you're going for a rival setup. If you're going to fire rival rounds, this is the best for that. If you're going to fire other dart types and you want capacity, this is also the best for that. If you want mods in general, I'd have to pick this or this. And then if you want just a higher performance is your key. Performance rival could be other things too. I would pick this. So there's different. They should make a Phantom Corpse, Perseus, and Nemesis, but thankfully I have a Prometheus, and that, in my opinion, is better. But yeah, kind of a. It would look amazing though, especially the Nemesis. But yeah, that's the roles of these blasters. But here's the thing: those aren't the only blasters that are rival single shot. There is another one which I will. There's a couple others from Overwatch, and then there's one from what's it called? That the curve shots. But here is the cool thing: these types of blasters are mega blasters, but mega blasters have some insane mod potential. First off, they have huge plunger tubes like this one. And if you upgrade the spring, take out the air restrictors, you can get an absolute powerhouse of a rival blaster. And by powerhouse, I mean powerhouse. So there's a lot of blasters you can do this with. You can do this with the Nerf Mega Talon. You can do it with this blaster, the what is it called? The hand cannon. You can do it with the Big Shock. You can do it with the Hot Shock. You can do it with what is it called? You could even do it with other blasters like the Lightning Bow. You could do it with an awesome blaster called the Busby Baron. There is so many applications. Basically, any mega single shot blaster can be transformed into a rival blaster, which is kind of cool. I would really like that too. The Zeus is one of my favorite rival blasters, and again, another blaster I do not have on hand at the moment. Good grief. I feel like I should have more blasters on hand, but sorry guys. Yeah, the Zeus is really cool. It could be a lot better. It doesn't feel like a hand cannon, even though it's called a hand cannon. That's kind of funny. But, I mean, it does fire rival really nicely. And that's my favorite part about it. I do like the grip and the overall profile, even though the grip's a bit small. It's a good profile, and it's kind of fun to plink around with rival. There's a full video on the mod I'm doing on this. There's not just what I have here. I'm also going to do some other mods to it to make it shoot Mega and rival, be compatible with both, which is already compatible with both, but not reliably. Not yet, and there's a reason I can't put 3 rival rounds in here, and that's because you can't do it with this thing, which is kind of cool, but with this, you have a problem. I actually have this where I can fire Mega and Rival, and in order to do that, I kind of have a dart post to keep the Mega dart in there more, kind of keep it in there, because Mega darts need to be brand new, otherwise they don't work too well when there's no post. So I have a post in there to kind of keep the Mega dart stable, but it's not, the problem is there's half a post in there, so I can shoot Rival and Mega. And the thing is, I can't put 3 rounds in there because there's still half of a post in there, which I might remove the post once I am able to brass these barrels to fit Mega. Oh crap, I dropped a round. I'll just use a different one. But a hammer shot to rival, there's only one way you could do that, and that is if you mod it, you got a custom 3D printed cylinder, and you can only hold probably about 3 rounds anyway. The Stormtrooper Apollo is pretty cool. That is a cool variant of the Apollo. But right now, it's just kind of basic. There's a whole mod coming on this. Paint job, everything. It's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. It'll probably be within a month or so because it's going to be a while until I can get the rest of the supplies. But yeah. What would I use in an HVZ as a primary? Well, there's a ton of blasters, but oh, the big red one, that is a vintage missile launcher. It shoots like kind of things similar to Titan rockets. It's more like an ultimator. What is my opinion on Heinz beans? See, these are the questions that are important. No, I'm just kidding. I like them. They're pretty good. But what was that? HVZ is a primary. I'm kind of leaning toward either the Prometheus, which I'm a Prometheus fan. Also, the Mad Mega Barrel and the Hades are really good. There's the Top 60, but right now I may have to go with the Alpha Auto 72, which a whole review on this is coming soon. This is an absolutely amazing blaster. Perfect in every way, in my opinion, and I just love it. It's so good. It's such a good blaster, and I have a whole review coming on that, so stay tuned. But that's probably my HVZ primary, personally. Thank you so much, thank you so much, Fortnite Kid. I appreciate it, and I am really, I'm really appreciate. Thanks for watching the stream. Yeah, Hades is really good because for one, it has 60 rounds, which I do have one. 60 rounds. It's really easy to load. It has great performance. You can slam fire the crap out thing. It's just really good for HVZ, in my opinion, and it's also comfy. But if it depends on whether you want springers or flywheelers. Like also the Prometheus is a great HVZ blaster, but it's pretty hard to get. Which I was able to obtain one for cheap, but it's very hard to find one for cheap. Now, as far as a dart blaster, I think I would pick this or the Mad Mega Barrel. The Tomahawk 60 can have some issues, especially with loading and damaging your darts. This does not have that issue. It's a very good performing blaster, very comfortable and very well designed, and also only $30, which gives us an advantage some blasters don't have. Also, the insane amount of ammo you can hold. Again, full review coming out soon. I'm actually going to finish editing that tonight, so expect it maybe by tomorrow. We'll see. Wednesday would be a perfect day to release it. And yeah, also another thing you can do with Mega. Hold on. I don't know where it is, but another cool thing you can do with Mega Rival is that you can sometimes you can take blasters like the Twin Shock. Now, this is very hard to do, but you can mod blasters like the Twin Shock to take Rival, and it's pretty awesome. But you have to kind of mess with the ARs, and it's kind of hard. What's my favorite weapon? I hope you're talking about Nerf, because I don't, like... I'm probably going to have to go with the Twin Shock. It's such a reliable shotgun. It's like the blaster I've gotten the most kills with. Not real life, obviously. But yeah, like I would probably have to go. One of my favorite blasters for competitive reasons would be either the Twin Shock or it would probably be the Spectrum. The Spectrum is really good as well. Also, I really like my modified Retaliator. That thing is great. But those are some. But yeah, back to the single shot rivals. Which one would I recommend? Well, if you're a modder and you want to turn something completely different and have a whole project, I would do a mega single shot. If you wanted a solid rival pistol, I would go with this. You can also have multiple, or if you want multiple shots, this is a good one as well. If you want a lot of mod potential and like a way to add stuff to it, like kits and stuff, this would be a good go-to. If you're looking for a kind of way to switch out barrels and stuff like that, this is a great one. If you're looking for high performance in Rival and a good, nice, solid build, this is a good one. What is my opinion on the Strife? It's a great blaster. I personally think it has one weakness, which is awesome. Its greatest weakness is its greatest strength. It is a default blaster. It's designed to be for stuff to be added onto it. As a blaster itself, it's pretty good. It's not the best blaster ever, but when you throw in the mod potential and the stuff you can add to it, it becomes one of the best blasters of all time. Pro Rapid Strike. If they ever did, it would be really way too expensive. I mean, think about it. The Strike X was $120. A Pro Rapid Strike would probably realistically be $200, and hopefully they would include a drum or something. What is this? Is the Helios good? Got one the other day. I'm going to grab some foam balls within the next few days. The Helios is a very solid blaster, actually. It's probably one of the better rival springers. I don't personally like it because the bolt, well, actually, not the bolt. The bolt action part's fun, but the grip isn't the best in my opinion. But the Helios is a very, very solid springer. One of the best. I would say, personally, I would pick the, where is it here? I would personally, this is a kind of a hot take, I really like the Apollo a lot, even though it's classic. But yeah, it just depends on taste. If you like the grip, then go for the Helios for sure. The Helios is great. If you had to pick rival rounds, there's a few options. There are the Accu rounds, which are some of the better rounds, but they can have issues, but they tend to be slightly more accurate than regular. But in my opinion, if you want to go for price, you can get 20 of these for 100. I mean, you could get 120 of these for $20, and that's a really good deal. So you might want to go with the Adventure Horse rounds. Yeah, I know the Apollo is a very outdated blaster to some people. I've personally used it a lot, and it's still one of my favorite rival springers, if not my most favorite, next to the, of course, the Helios. Another good rival springer is the Challenger, but yeah, the Apollo is just a class. I really like the top prime. I like the grip. It's a very interesting blaster. It's kind of basic, and that's why I like it. Do I like the Jolt, and what is the best mod for a Jolt? Well, here's the thing. I love the Jolt, but it's not so easy to mod. Despite popular belief, the Jolt isn't the most easy to mod. It does have some mod potential. Like if you get what is it? If you get a brass barrel and you upgrade the spring just a little bit, you can mod it to shoot pretty good. But I think if you want a high performance Jolt, you can either do two things. First off, you can mod a Night Finder, which, hold on. I modified this Night Finder here. I threw in a spring from a rival Apollo because I have so many. And you pull in the back, and you have about a 90 FPS upgrade. So this is the best single shot to mod. But if you don't want to mod a Jolt, this is like almost the same size as the Jolt. This is the Dart Zone Max Solo. It's about $20, but you don't have to buy any mod stuff, and it gets about 110 to 120 FPS depending on the short darts you use. It's really good. You can use short darts or long darts. You can shotgun it. There is a lot of cool things. It's also a flipping blaster, and it's what I would personally recommend if you were to get if you wanted a pro Jolt, unless you know how to mod a Jolt, which they can be kind of hard to mod. But yeah. Also, where was I again? Oh yeah. So, like I said, there's a lot of rival single shot blasters, but which one's the best? In my opinion, it's this thing, because if I wanted to shoot rival rounds, and I personally like using rival rounds, this is one of my go-tos, and I really like it. That's hence why I painted it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is about it. It's been a really good stream. Thanks to you all for showing up. I'm probably going to head out now. But again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.